welcome to the Norm Hyperbolic Podcast. We're here to talk anime, video games, and movies. I am your host, X, also known as Gearless Young Mahogany Freeman. And with me, as always, is my co-host, Kid Lewis.
Yo, what up? It's your favorite menace, Kid Lewis. Welcome back to the Hyperbolic Podcast. Ooh. And in today's show, episode, segment, whatever you guys want to call it.
We call it episodes.
Episodes. We are going to be weaving, bopping, straight cut, uppercut. We're diving into the world of Gearless Joe Megalobox. Megalobox. And with us, of course, is always our third, Captain Kilimanjaro.
Captain Kilimanjaro.
Sheesh. Hey, it's another day in paradise. Yes. You know what I'm saying? This ain't the CPAKO show, but it is the norm. We back at it again, baby. Let's get it.
Let's get it, man.
So like Kid Lewis said, we're going to be talking about Megalobox in this episode. Anime that we've talked about in the past.
Yes.
As far as like, you know, we both put it on our top 10.
I was just about to ask you. I almost forgot about that. I'm like, was it our top 10?
It was in our top. I think it was number 9 in our top 10. But after like revisiting these episodes.
What do you think? It should have been higher?
I'm firm. No, definitely.
Oh, you firm 10. On the number? It should have been 9 then.
It should have been 9. I do have some critiques about it, and you know,
too.
we definitely will get into it.
Yes.
So definitely. So also in this episode, we're going to be talking about a submit your character to the manga contest.
Oh man!
A Capcom director that's retiring after 30 years, and a Twilight animated project.
Oh my god, don't tell me it's the Twilight Vampires.
Twilight Vampires animated project. So if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure to leave us a like. If you're listening to this on your podcast platform of choice, remember to leave us 5-star reviews with that compliment sandwich.
For sure.
All right, so let's go ahead and get into it, bro, with last week's news today. All right, first, in the realm of anime. So to celebrate 1 year since it dropped, the manga Kagubarchi launched a new contest where the protagonist Chihiro will be killing the winner's own character. So the company that serialized the manga, Shonen Jump, is looking for an original quote-unquote mob sorcerer character to be featured in the opening pages of an upcoming issue to be cut down by the main character.
Nice.
Ooh.
So I know when we talked about it wasn't in the Tekken episode, but we were talking about how the Tekken creator was upset that people were like, you know, submitting character designs for Tekken.
Yeah.
So this manga, Kagubarchi, they are asking people to submit original characters to be featured in an upcoming manga to be killed by the main character.
Right, literally the complete opposite.
Right. So I mean, some of the rules are it has to be an original character that does not infringe on third-party copyrights.
Yeah.
And they have to submit it on a postcard.
Okay. Also, they have to draw it out.
They have to draw it out on a postcard and send it to Shonen Jump, and then they'll review it and then, you know, choose one to submit to the manga.
Cool.
That's how you should go about it.
Yeah.
That's how it should be done.
Well, so I know the Tekken director, he was talking about how he's pissed that people keep sending him to, you know.
Yeah, but that's like randomly. That's like, he's not even asking for it.
Right, unprompted or whatever.
This is like, you know, this is like a competition. Like if you guys want your character to be in it,
right. And
send it out.
And this manga is very new, so they're just celebrating 1 year.
Well, yeah,
so someone like Tekken, who's been out since before Fred was born, like
they ain't no lie,
they're on number 8 of their video game or whatever, and having been out so long, this one is kind of like in the early stages. It's kind of like us, like where we're replying to every comment, we're engaging with all of our fans.
Yeah.
But maybe later on, if we do get like, you know, 100 comments, we might not be able to engage with all
of it. Yeah.
So
they're get in now. Okay.
Right. While we still have the attention for all these
we
things.
got time for you. You know what I'm saying?
So they
Once we blow up,
we might not be able to, you know?
Yeah, we're too good for this now.
Nah, too good. I just don't have time. I just don't have time, bro. I'm already late. I was already late to recording tonight.
Yeah. You on that BPT.
I'm on
it.
You know what I'm saying?
We'll just deduct that from your pay, bro. It's all right.
So it must be postmarked by September 30th of this month. And the company is at least giving 100 winners. They will receive a special thick acrylic block featuring a colored cover of the issue.
Whoa.
Yeah. So even if your original art doesn't get chosen, there's 100 people who will get like this special cover.
Specially made cover. Yeah, that's still pretty lit.
Yeah, a colored cover.
Right.
So I don't know.
That's hard.
We will talk about it more in the what we're reading, what we're watching, what we're playing, because this is a manga that I am reading. And so just for you guys, this is like the way it looks, like as far as like the advertisement that they did. You know,
that's cool. Yeah. Oh, that's the manga you. Yeah. I remember now.
So
you know, telling me you've been reading that.
We will have our editor Oscar put this in the video version, but it is just very exciting to see this manga blow up. And now that a lot of other manga, like I don't want to say like Naruto, but like all these other mainstream, what is it? JJK, My Hero, they're all ending soon. So Shonen Jump is kind of running out of manga.
They got to open it up a little bit, you know.
Right, and this one is kind of like, you know, I don't want to say it's going to take the place, but it'll definitely fill the void for Shonen Jump for like hot manga that they're like being able to be part of.
Yeah.
So you have until the end of the month, September 30th, to submit, and then they will feature it in the next manga if it is selected.
Remember, you're just gonna get cut down. You know what I'm saying? So even though it is a grand achievement,
right, kind of
big shout. Bro. Your character's still dying.
Right, your character is still gonna die, but what an honor to be killed. You know, like imagine if Naruto in the early days was like, "Yo, do you want your character killed by Naruto?"
Got Rasengan into space
to death.
There you go.
To death.
To death. Does he at least put up a fight? Does my character at least put up a fight?
the way they were describing it,
it's gonna get enough screen time
in the opening. So
2 pages,
maybe like in a montage. I don't know. 2 pages.
Two panels. One panel.
One panel with a little bit of face and a bunch of blood.
Right. So
viscera.
All right, bro. What's next?
All right. So next, in the realm of video games,
talk to me.
So the director of Dragon's Dogma and some of the Devil May Cry games, Hideaki Itsuno, announced on Twitter that he is going to be retiring from Capcom after 30 years.
No.
Why you say it like that, Fred?
Say it ain't so, bro. I love Devil May Cry.
Right.
Oh my God. First James Earl Jones and now this.
Right. Well, he's not dying. He's just retiring.
I know. It's
the same as dying, bro. He's not coming back.
So he's
hopefully.
So he is coming back. So he directed Devil May Cry 3 through 5,
bro,
and he directed Dragon's Dogma 2.
I mean, that one's all right, but bro, Devil May Cry 3 through 5.
3 through 5.
Oh my God.
So Dragon's Dogma 2 sold 2.5 million copies within its first 2 weeks and 10 million copies to date. So even IGN gave it an 8 out of 10, bro.
Of course they did, bro.
So I wanted to ask you guys, have you played Dragon's Dogma 1 or 2?
No.
I played Dragon Dogma 1. Okay. I did want to play the second one, but after replaying the first one, like it was just too much for me to get into.
Was it like Mass Effect?
No, it's like big and it's dry, kind of
dry.
Like you can go and fight cool monsters and have cool quests and everything, but like they're not as close together as I feel like they could be.
1 and 2?
No, just like, well, I'm talking about 1 in particular. Well, I guess it would translate to 2, but 2 is probably better in this vein than 1.
Close. What do you mean close?
Like, just as far as the things you can do, like the quests and like things of that nature. It's like a lot of traveling with like not as fun of activities. I guess it's mainly just fighting, really, but like,
so a lot of fetch quests, a lot of go here, grab that, go there.
Yeah, and it's not very rewarding. You know what I mean?
Right.
Whereas I think 2 did better with that, but I haven't really played 2, so I can't speak very much on it. But at the same time, it was like I was still playing BG3, Baldur's Gate 3 at that time, and I just felt like I would much rather play BG3. You know what I mean?
Okay, I feel that. Well, so the reason I bring it, so like it was a joke that IGN gave it an 8 out of 10, but it did sell pretty well. And from what I heard from other people who played the game besides you, that it is like a good expansion.
30 years, bro.
So he's retiring
that pension, bro.
He's retiring after 30 years. He's retiring from Capcom, but he's not retiring from gaming, which isn't much of a retirement, but it's like a job change. So I don't know why they phrase it that way, a retirement.
I mean, I guess it would depend on where he's going. You know
So
what I
he
mean?
didn't release where he's going. So this
Right.
is the tweet that he does. So from September, I will start developing a new game in a new environment. I hope to create fun, beautiful games that are as memorable as or even more memorable than the ones that I've created so far. So please stay tuned for my next creation.
Cool.
Bro, if this man joins Kojima Productions, that would be amazing.
So another reason why I bring it up, because I know in our earlier episodes, we were talking about how a lot of these creators are breaking off from the mainstream companies and starting their own. So, he's been at Capcom for 30 years. And like Fred says, Devil May Cry 3 through 5, I don't want to say is the best Devil May Cry, but it is like,
they're the best ones, bro.
3 through 5 better than 1 and 2?
Better. Oh my God, hell yeah.
Wow.
5 being
Right, go ahead.
Oh man, that's tough. I would say I want to say 5 is the best, man. Because don't get me wrong, 3 is vindicated. You know what I mean? If you know, Devil May Cry 3 is
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay, well, he did that one.
Devil May Cry 5, you know what I'm saying? I feel like if it's not number 1, it is a very, very close, immediate number 2.
Wow.
And Devil May Cry 4 was cool. You know what I'm saying? Not like the other 2, but it was good. 1 and 2, they ain't stack up. They ain't stack up, bro. They're not bad games, but they didn't stack up.
Like Assassin's Creed?
Essentially, you could definitely pick out a few of those.
Okay.
I'm not mentioning any names, Unity.
Okay. Well.
All
right.
just
So,
saying.
so, like I said, he didn't say where he was going, but him and more seasoned and even new creators are going more independent with their talents as of lately.
Yeah, bro. It's about time.
I think that's the move.
It is the move, bro. People just gotta independent and just do their stuff without being limited to whatever the company wants. You know what I mean?
I mean, bro, yeah,
We're
we're
free
talking
range, bro.
3 decades, dog.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
So
for as long as I've been on the earth.
Well, because they kind of build these companies, but then once they get to a point, like the luxury or the benefit of joining a company that's already established is the resources.
Right.
Yes.
But then once you have the creative know-how, then you can kind of venture off, maybe even with less or limited resources, and still build something that's like really good. So
Yeah.
I kind of hope I'm kind of gonna pay attention to what he's doing and track it to see if there's anything that he's coming out with new. He's being very cryptic with like if it's another company that's a big company by name, or if it is going to be Kojima's company or his own company. So just
keep your ear to the flow and your nose to the wind, right? You know what I'm
So
saying?
just be on the lookout for that. And I've said it in the last episode, but we are going to do a Devil May Cry episode this season. So that's the main reason why I bring it up. So
Okay.
just be on the lookout for that.
What's next, bro?
So next, in the realm of movies.
What's going on with movies?
So Netflix greenlit an animated series based on Stephanie Meyer's 2020 book, Midnight Sun. So Midnight Sun is a retelling of the first Twilight book, but from the perspective of Edward Cullen. So it's written by the original writer of Twilight, Stephanie Meyers, and she's marked as an executive producer on the project. So a question I have directly for Lewis is, Lewis,
Why me, bro?
do you remember?
I'm not a big fan of Twilight.
Do
so-
you remember being into Twilight as much as you were? Please.
As much as
I know you have a cap on right now, but try to be no cap right now.
Damn.
And this is no
Spotlight
this is,
shining.
this is no shame.
Let me be honest with you, man.
If
I
you
was
want, I can go
never
forward.
a big fan of Twilight, but there was a era about the whole if you want an Edward's team or Jacob's team.
Are you talking about Team Edward versus Team Jacob?
I remember that era, but I was never like, oh my God, it came out in the movie theaters. I gotta go watch it.
Bro.
I think.
But why do you say it like that? Do you know something that I don't
we're
know?
smelling some cappuccino in here.
Is there something that you know that I don't know?
Bro, I remember when these movies came out, and I wasn't against them. I'm not even like super.
It was part of
judgmental.
our era, man.
It was part of our era, so you can't even say that it wasn't all around us.
Yeah,
Yes.
no, it definitely was.
But I
for sure.
remember knowing so much about Twilight from you, Lewis.
From me.
You in middle school to high school would tell me about Edward about how he's a sparkly vampire
He is
and
a
his
sparkly
skin is made of diamond.
It is
and
made
the
of
only way
diamonds.
to crack diamond is with other diamonds. So that's why vampires are susceptible to other vampires. I knew all of this stuff from you.
Yo, I got short memory loss, bro.
Bro.
Long-term memory loss. I don't even remember half of this shit, bro.
He said, my brain got blocks in it. I don't want to remember that shit.
So maybe I should have gone first, but so
Because you remember it clearly.
So I remember in growing up,
Oh, man.
I remember watching in theaters the first Twilight
Okay.
when it came out. And then I didn't see any of the other Twilights until the last Twilight, where my girlfriend took me to go see it in the movie theaters. And we saw it like the opening weekend or whatever. And
Shit was packed, right?
have you seen Twilight, or at least the last Twilight, or any of the Twilights?
I think
what about you, Captain?
I might have seen all three. I definitely saw the third one.
There's 5, I think.
What?
I think so.
Oh, I definitely haven't seen all of them.
The last one is broken up in 2 parts. So
I
there's at least 4 or 5.
saw the first one
Okay.
and the one where they have the big ass fight.
That's the last one.
I know I've seen those 2. I can't speak to any of the other ones.
So I saw the last one in theaters, and I'll watch whatever movie for whatever. Even back then, spoilers for Twilight. If you're on the fence of if you should watch it,
bro.
Yeah, I know, but just in case, spoilers. So at the end of the movie, at the end of the last movie, there's like a big fight. And I remember being in the theaters where it's like a vision. Like one of the characters can see the future
Yeah.
and the other character can read minds.
Yes.
So they combine those 2 powers where the guy who can read minds reads the minds of the girl who can see the future. And then, he's about to fucking start the war, but then he reads her mind to say, okay, this is what would happen if you started this war. And fucking almost everybody dies. And it is a fucking gruesome fight.
It is, but it never even happened. And that's what pissed me off the most.
I loved it, bro.
So you do remember, bro.
I was
that last bit, yeah, that's what I remember. That
Yeah, bro, I don't
because
remember
it
that shit.
angered me how the fight never happened, and they were just like,
as
no,
someone who's uninvested, I fucking loved it. I remember being in a theater with all these Twilight nerds, like, watching the movie for what it was, and then ended up being like a dream. And then I was like, what? Hey, you know me, bro. Black people at the movie theaters. I'm fucking the first one to yell,
scream.
what? And then, bro, the whole theater fucking erupted into screams and chants, and oh my god, that's the first. That's like even that's way before the Marvel movies. I want to say,
Yeah.
where I felt like as a community in the theater sharing this, because the fight was like a long fight.
Yeah, it was.
And it never
was
happened.
crazy.
And then it just never happened. So
Damn.
I do remember being in the theater for that. But they are doing this animated series on Netflix for Twilight. And like I said, it's off of this thing, Midnight Sun, which is like a retelling of the first book written from Edward's perspective.
How do you feel about all this shows and movies getting animated?
I love it, bro.
You love it?
I love it.
'Cause I've been seeing a lot of that. Like a lot of people posting like, oh, they're going to animate this or they're going to animate that.
They just did it with Terminator.
There you go. The
Right,
Terminator
right.
one. Yep.
But that was anime. So,
Right.
I mean, we did our X-Men episode. So, that's how I feel, bro. Anime everything.
Anime, everything.
So yeah, so look forward to that, and that's a show or movie that we might be on top of, doing what we do with that.
You said Midnight Sun. I thought it was Midnight Suns.
I know.
Get excited. I was like,
Midnight. Oh, yeah, that series on FX.
No,
Midnight Suns?
the video game or the comic book
The
series.
Marvel, yeah.
Oh, the
Marvel.
Marvel. I'm thinking about that show
Which one?
on FX calling Midnight Suns or something like that. Maybe I'm wrong.
Oh no.
Maybe I'm wrong. All right, whatever. We're moving on. From that.
Anyway, moving on.
Yeah.
All right, so then let's go ahead and get on with the meat and potatoes, bro. Meat and potatoes.
You guys ready to grub? You guys ready to eat? You ready to dive in?
You ready?
You better put up your gloves, bro.
Put up your gloves, put up your set, bro, and let's get into the meat and potatoes.
Let's go. Megalobox.
Megalobox, bro. All right, so it's a 2018 boxing anime series produced by TMS Entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
So I know we were supposed to do a episode on anime studios, and just a little like spoiler, I guess, at least for people who listen to the podcast. TMS is my favorite of the studios.
Really?
It is. I love TMS
Interesting.
because they just treat their employees right, and they've been here for so long, and they haven't gone the way of these other companies that are like just money first. Like they do prioritize creatives
Over the money.
over the money.
Yeah.
So TMS is one of the oldest companies, starting in the 60s, and they're they're one of the most renowned animation studios in Japan. So they're responsible for Detective Conan, which is like an anime that I used to watch with my mom back in the day when I was like young. Lupin the Third, and they do Dr. Stone. So from old animes even up to now, they're still in the game heavy. So we'll just go ahead and get into it, bro. So what was your experience with this anime? Let's start with Kid Lewis this time, bro.
Well, let me didn't I put you onto this?
Put me on.
I told you about this, bro.
Maybe a little.
I was like, yo, Megalobox is the way to go. And you kind of looked at it and I was like, kind of have the same hairstyle as you. That crazy nappy hair.
I know. I fucking love this. This is no secret or no news to people who listen to the podcast.
For you guys,
I fucking love this manga.
We're doing season 1 and 2.
Season 1 and 2. So yeah.
So we're going to both seasons, not just.
So I didn't bring it up in the mix. So the reason that we're doing this episode is because of Hispanic Heritage Month. So tomorrow or today, depending on when we release this episode, should be the start of Hispanic Heritage Month.
Okay.
So I do have a little bit of information about that as well, but at least season 2 mostly, but even from season 1, and maybe I'm projecting because I think the character looks like me and I am Hispanic, but there is a lot of Hispanic vibes in this manga. I even looked up on Google what are some Hispanic anime, and this was one of the ones that was on there.
Yeah.
I don't know how heavy it is in Hispanic wise on season 1, but definitely season 2.
Yeah,
right.
It's
definitely heavier in
season
2.
1, but yeah, it's in your nostrils.
So in all general about this anime alone, I love it.
You love it?
I love it for 2 reasons.
Good.
One, boxing. You can't go wrong with boxing, bro. You can't go wrong with boxing. Like you have Hajime no Ippo.
Yeah.
That shit was a vibe. This was a vibe. I don't know how much I like about the exo gear that they have on. I don't know how much it really applies to the boxing in all general, but we'll get into that. But then the other thing I like, soundtrack. Season 1 soundtrack.
Right.
It's on point. It reminds me of Samurai Champloo. Like that fucking vibe of hip hop.
To a lesser extent, yes, but yes.
Like, I feel like I like Samurai Champloo because it has such a dope soundtrack. It adds on to the anime.
Every episode almost.
Same thing with
Megalobox.
I feel like the soundtrack adds to the anime, adds like an extra layer, and also the whole 90 vibes, like that old school anime vibe. You feel me? And I googled it, and it says that they really tried to iterate it like that, like give it that 90 vibes, like that's how they were trying to showcase this anime.
The fact that it came out recently too, within like last like 5 or 6 years,
2018,
is
bro,
crazy.
Yeah,
because it's almost 90s aesthetic. It's not exactly there, but it's
almost there.
It's almost there, bro.
They were saying that it's 80s, 90s aesthetic. Like,
I don't even know about that.
On purpose. Like it's toned down the grain on purpose to give it that 80s to 90s aesthetic.
Right.
No, but it looks amazing, bro. I fucking love it. Love it. Love it.
So at least one season at a time. How do you feel about the first season, bro? Captain?
For me, myself personally, I actually love the first season. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, for all the same things you said, the story of it, the soundtrack is just like, I don't know. It's very nice across the board. I like how linear the story is. You know what I'm saying? I like how it's point A to point B. I like it. I don't know. Yeah, that's pretty much all I gotta say about it. I will say though, chapter 2 definitely let me down, man.
What?
Really? Wow.
Chapter 2 let me down.
We'll get into that, bro. That's weird.
A little bit, yeah.
That's
but we'll get into it.
Let's get into chapter 1 so that way we can.
I don't know if it's weird. I definitely understand where he's coming from, without even having heard. I get where you're coming from, but at least for, one chapter at a time. In the beginning, like how you said, I don't know how much the Megalobox part of it, is integral to the story, because in the beginning he's an underground fighter.
Yes.
He's fighting, using gear in Megalobox or whatever, but he's throwing these fights and he's kind of like making money off of that in the back. So then he meets a real Megaloboxer and then he decides, hey, I want to be legit. I want to go forward and be a real Megaloboxer because I am pretty good.
But what I think it is that he gets tired of losing fights and he feels it like in his gut that he can be better. He's like, oh, I could have knocked this guy out in like round 1.
But it's more.
But I can't.
It takes more skill to lose a fight on purpose and make it and sell it like you are.
Because he's like an actor at that point.
Pride, bro.
You know what I mean? He's acting. He has to show, he has to get the crowd excited like he's about to win, but then he loses. You get what I'm saying? He's got to build it up.
Bro. That's Megalobox. Because even, without jumping ahead too much, even in the second season, he starts winning and he wins too much where nobody wants to fight him because no one's betting against you and we're losing money. Nobody wants to put you in the ring because we know you're just going to win.
Yeah.
So he has like a good thing going where he's making more money losing than if he would to win. So then he fucking says, "Oh, like I want to start winning now."
That's not a boxer's mentality, bro. That's not a fight. That's not the mentality of a fighter, bro.
It's not a fighter.
That's a war. That's not a warrior's mentality.
But he's a true warrior because even from episode 1, from the very beginning, when he's riding his motorcycle across the cliff, he even says that he's like, you either get knocked down and you stay down, or you get back up.
The fuck up. Yeah.
And he says, I haven't done either both. So what the fuck am I doing? It was like a realization for him, like a click, like I need to stop what I'm doing because I am a fighter. I'm a warrior inside and I need to prove it. So when he meets Yuri, he even says like, yo, this is the first time I actually feel an intense pressure, but like I'm happy. Like it's competition in front of me.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
So that's where it shows like, his true fighter. After a while, bro, I'm assuming he gets tired of it, bro.
But just like how you're saying, like the Megalobox, like the idea of him being Gearless Joe, he does have a couple fights in the beginning where he's using gear and then he trains and he's like, okay, I'm going to train for real. And then he tries to get gear. And then the 2 times that he gets gear, it ends up fucking not being like anything.
Like shattering and shit.
So then he starts saying, okay, I'm going to be Gearless Joe as a gimmick to get people to fight me with, you can use gear, but I'm not going to use gear. So then people think it's either going to be an easy win or whatever. So then he climbs the ranks, but then he goes all the way to the end still as Gearless Joe.
So this is where the gimmick,
I thought the same thing, bro. Like,
it's a gimmick, bro.
I don't care about the gear.
This whole gear is a gimmick because I'm thinking to myself, right? The gear, what is the gear intended? What is the purpose of it? To increase speed, power, maybe more damage, right? Some of them have AI, so it can help you get like an edge on your competitor.
Right.
You feel me? But here you got Gearless Joe, no gear.
Nice.
And I'm not saying that I'm not saying that Gearless Joe is weak by any sense. My man has been in the ring long enough to take a punch and get back up. That's what he does.
That's the part that I love, bro.
You know what I mean? That's Wolverine, what he does.
Daredevil. If you get up, that's what I respect more than if you're fucking strong as shit.
Yeah. So, but then at some point I was like, so what's the point of the gear? Because if you're wearing this gear versus a person that has no gear and I punch you, I'm supposed to be able to hit you harder than you're supposed to hit me. Does that make sense? Yeah. Now, there is an example where I'm like, okay, I see why Gearless Joe wins because he does have some boxing knowledge where a lot of these people or his competitors just basically kind of like
they rely on
the gear.
Yeah.
And they don't really have these skills. So when they get punched by Gearless Joe, like an uppercut,
they don't know what the fuck to do.
They're like, their brain gets rattled and then just like one punch, they're knocked out because they're not used to that.
So without calling out too many episodes, what bothers me sometimes...
call them out, bro.
what bothers me is that sometimes he'll get his ass beat and he'll knock down like 3 to 4 times, but then he'll get back up and throw one good counter punch and then end the match.
But that's because I think a lot of these boxers like you said, relying on the gear alone. They're not really training like he is. He's in the ring under the bridge with his trainer, and they're actually doing sets. They're actually doing drills. They're practicing. I don't know how much about these other dudes are doing.
Right.
And they don't really show it. You know what I mean? Besides Yuri. Yuri is like strength training, stamina training. You know what I mean?
That's why he's the champ. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So he says it. And I think the reason why he likes Joe is because he knows that Joe has actual boxing in him. You know what I mean?
He gets more out of fighting Joe than anybody else.
Because it's true boxing, and that's what he's looking for. And at the end of the day, I feel like it just falls back to like, you don't need gear to make boxing more relevant or more popular than what it is.
Well,
and I know that's what Yuri's owner, I forgot her name, the company, the lady that owns the company,
right?
Yukiko Chirato, I think.
Yeah.
like her point is to prove that you can make money using gear. Like it's more entertaining to use the gear. I think that's the agenda she's pushing with the Megalo tournament.
Her agenda is she made Megalobox,
yes,
or at least her company did, to sell Megalobox
the gear, yes,
but to sell it to
like
the government, to the military.
Yes.
So that's the part that I kind of liked about it, where in the beginning it's kind of, it's anime. Right. So we're like, okay, you live in this world where Megalobox is a thing. I get it. It's a way to enhance boxing or whatever. But then when you dive further into it, it's that whole Megaloboxing, which has superseded regular boxing because they want to sell the gear to the military. In season 2, it becomes like a whole thing to sell it to, like, medical companies and just the technology in general.
Yes.
I hate this shit.
So I just like that he goes all the way without having to use gear. He uses it at the end towards, but then it ends up not being anything.
Imagine, because like Yuri took his fucking gear off, bro. Even though he knew, even though he knew he wasn't gonna fight again, because he wants
that one-on-one competition. Like he wants that real fight, and like he said, like at the end of the day, the one standing is the real warrior,
the real deal,
the real deal. I think that's what he kept saying, right? The real deal,
bro.
Yeah. So
how do you feel about the trainer, bro? Because I'll just get into it now, bro. Nambu, bro. I hated this guy.
I hated him too, bro.
What you hate about him,
bro? He just keeps falling back to his old self. You feel like he's improving, like he does justify himself at the end.
Oh my god!
That's why he dies, bro.
He dies in the second shit, though.
I know, but I mean,
bro. So they tell the story, and I love little poems and even made up or non-made up stories in anime and stories. But they tell the story about a scorpion and a frog, about how the scorpion tells the frog, like, "Hey, like, take me across the river, like, let me ride on your back or whatever." And the frog is like, "No, I'm not gonna fucking take you on my back because you're gonna sting me." And he's like, "No. If I sting you in the middle of the river, we're both gonna die." So the frog is like, "All right, that makes sense. Get on my back." And then he swims halfway through the river, and then the scorpion stings him, and then they both die. And then the frog is, before he dies, he's like, "Bro, why the fuck did you sting me?" And the scorpion's like, "Oh, I just couldn't help it.
It's in my nature.
It's in my nature."
Yeah,
bro. That's how he is, bro.
That's how he is, bro.
That story was beautiful because I'm like, yes,
that is a life lesson, by the way. For those
he's just
some people that's in their nature, bro.
He's just a scorpion, bro. He can't help but sting.
Yeah,
he couldn't help but keep fucking Joe scheming. Over
just scheming,
and that's where they came from. So kind of Joe should have known, but you know, when you have a big heart like that, bro. But he gave up his eye in the end, and I thought that was kind of gangster. And then he ended up being blind because he's throughout the story.
He deserved to do right by Joe, bro.
Right.
He did. And Joe said he was going to make it to the top, and he made it to the top.
Yeah.
So
they're kind of like that, bro.
So he definitely, I know in the beginning he's an asshole, and he's like constantly fucking scheming. When he finally made it to the top 4, and then just for the next episode for the gangster to come up and say like, "Oh, did you tell Joe the real agenda?"
Right, from way long time ago.
Right, because you proposed this. Right, and you said this is how we're gonna make money. You know what I mean? Your true scheming side came out, but you never told him that.
Flaw.
And Joe was like, "Nah, fuck this shit, bro."
So like you said, Captain, the style was vintage. They describe it similar to Cowboy and Shampoo, despite being produced and released in 2018.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever heard of an anime called Ashita no Joe?
Yes. You have information, or you want me to give it to you?
You can pass it to me. Well, you have information?
I have information.
I have some information.
Go ahead, give it to us.
But it's not written down. So basically, I was doing a little bit of my research. You feel me? Because I had time.
Damn. You hear this? You know what I mean? Kid Loose is doing research,
bro. It's Megalobox, bro.
Megalobox.
When you like invested in a good anime, you gotta know a little something.
Go ahead.
So what I've heard from my investigation is that there's an anime, really old anime, called Ashita no Joe. Okay. Basically, it's another boxing anime. And what I've heard is that Megalobox is kind of based off this anime. Now, it's not like script to script.
Right, pound for pound, piece for piece.
Yeah, like they don't have the gear. They don't have like the, you know what I mean? But it's kind of like based, it has familiarities between them. But go ahead, bro. I just want to like point that out. Is there something else? Go ahead, X. You
There's a lot more.
There's more.
So this is, I don't want to say the first, but like, at least in our series that we do here, one of the first, it's an anime first, and it does have a manga, but this was adapted off of a different manga that came out before. So it was created to commemorate the 50th anniversary of another boxing manga, Ashita no Joe. So it's not the same character as Joe. There is no megaloboxing. It is just boxing, straight boxing. But a lot of the characters like Nanbu, Yuri, the female, they are echoes. Even the little boy, Sachio. Sachio is off of another character who's a female character, but it's like a little girl, whatever.
Yeah.
But it's the same type of like feel. So,
but Ashita no Joe has more of a Hajime no Ippo vibe to it because they're actually more, straight more boxing. You know, the running, the gym work, so he does that. The real deal. Well, Megalobox, you only see it here and there, like the actual training part of it. Right. You know, how like Hajime no Ippo, like before he starts to fight, you have like 10 episodes of him just straight up training, learning new skills, practicing, fighting a bear, shit like that. Like shit like that. And then you get to the main event kind of thing.
That's one of the qualms and quarrels I have with Megalobox. It's just very like, I don't understand why it has to be so dramatic. You know what I mean? Like
dramatic how?
It's dramatic. Like, for example, what you just said. Like, if you do the other manga you were talking about, Hajime no Ippo, is like, it's just based on, like showing the journey. You know what I mean? Like the fighting and the training and I don't know, man. Like Megalobox, even though I do enjoy it a lot, it's like, it's just very drama ridden, especially the second season. And that's part of what pissed me off so much about the second season, bro.
We'll get into the third. We'll get into the second season, bro. I'm ready to hear this out.
So there is a rap in the first season,
right
towards the end, where
there was a rap on the second episode too. On the entry, it was pretty dope. It was like this homeless kid sitting down like on top of a building. He just starts rapping, and he just goes into like the outlook of like, what is the district or what is the district called? Underground district or something. And the reason why it's called that way is because none of them are citizens. Technically, they don't have citizenship.
Right. That's why he couldn't.
That's why he could. Yeah, he had to change his name. Yeah. He went from Junkyard Dog, right?
He's JD,
to Gearless Joe, or just Joe.
Whatever.
Just Joe. Gearless part was added later.
I mean, that's part of the Hispanic vibe that I feel like it does seed in the first season that they definitely like bloom in the second season. That was just a rap or whatever, and I was just like, what? Sochio was doing this rap while he was pretending to box. He was doing like a shadow box.
Yeah,
and I was like, damn,
it's dope, bro. It's a great anime. Man.
Little rap,
Yeah, it's nice, bro. It's nice.
So before we get on to the second season, what do you guys think Joe is? Is he black?
He's mixed.
Is he South
American? Afro-Latino.
He's Afro-Latino.
He's South American, Afro-Latino?
Afro-Latino, bro.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't have a backstory, and it's kind of like his
I kind of
vibe.
like that, though, that they don't really go into the backstory. It's just in the present, there and now.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. I kind of like that. They don't try to dive into fucking like in the middle of a fight, flashback of his past.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Not really. If they do a flashback, it's a flashback of him with Nambu more than like him before.
Any specific fights from season 1 that you guys liked? There's one fight, actually one arc in season 1 that I fucking loved.
Well, him and Yuri for me, bro.
Well, him and Yuri,
like
nah, bro. Do you remember the veteran? What's his name? Araki
with the no legs.
With the no legs.
Yeah.
That arc was dope, bro. It kind of made me cry a little bit.
Did you?
Because me working as a nurse, I've seen and treated people that go to PTSD, especially after war. And I mean, the reason he lost his legs was a bomb blew up next to him. Took his leg, almost took an eye. You know what I mean? And he coming back from whatever war he was at in a wheelchair after he was fucking Nambu's #1 fighter.
Right.
And he came back and the freaking gym was closed down. Never saw Nambu. You know what I mean? And then when he heard that Nambu was training another fighter, he was like, nah, fuck that, bro. Fuck that. You let me be, bro.
Right.
So, but that was a good fight, bro.
On the news, bro.
I know.
But then when he found out that he wasn't dead, he didn't reach out either. So
he didn't reach out
that's
either.
Nambu being a scorpion. But
yeah.
I do. So for that arc, I do kind of see where Fred's talking about where it dragged on a little bit too much, where I thought he was going to like climb the ranks. And, I did like it and it did end nice. And then, when he started fighting like, what is it? The Texan and the other guy, like those fights were a little bit more quicker because they were towards the end.
But, but those fights weren't meaningful. It was just kind of like in and out.
Right. Where the guy with
Yuri
the legs,
was the main
come through to the second season.
And we get more of a backstory on the veteran a little bit more. Right. And then we have her brother, the company lady's brother,
right?
The one who's trying to promote the whole AI thing. Like that is the best tech to promote.
Right.
The snake.
on that one, bro, on that episode, there's something that pissed me off. So Nambu and Joe are walking down the stage to fight him.
Bro, I know.
And the guy comes up and says like, hey, I know who you truly are.
Yeah.
I know that your identification is fraud.
Right.
So unless you want me to expose you. But in my head, it was like, okay, why the fuck did Nambu stop him? Even if they lost.
First one, how did he stop him? To be able to hit him in the stomach and then he
just said, right in the gut. Like, I saw that man's arms twitch.
Bro, because it's like you said, it's a perfect example of the scorpion. You know what I'm saying? Like, it all comes out when it needs to. Otherwise, he's just like, he's shifty about it.
He's
but if
very
there's
shifty,
something
bro.
that's, that's going to fuck him up, you know what I'm saying? Or like ruin his shit.
But he
he's gonna
still
stop that at
shouldn't
any
let
cost,
Joe
bro.
jump in the ring, because at the end of the day, if he loses, then Joe loses. But if Joe wins, he's still going to get exposed. And either way, I'd rather fight and take the chance, because if I don't fight, then I'm disqualified. And he was disqualified. So what was the point?
He wasn't disqualified. He just wasn't.
He was disqualified. He forfeited
from the match.
the match.
But not from being part of Megalonia.
But that's what he wants to fight Yuri. That was what he was intending. That was the whole purpose of him joining that. It was nothing else but to fight Yuri. So for me, I was like, fuck, bro. Nambu fucked it up.
Right. I agree. That's what,
you know what I mean?
That's where I made the note. Like,
and the gamble he took was kind of stupid, because I'm just like, even the guy, the fucking mob guy, Fuchimaki, was like, but you know that my shit is airtight. No way he would have figured it out. So he was just playing with you guys.
Yeah, a little bit.
And he's like, and I know he was down here because he sent somebody asking questions about Joe.
Right.
He's like, but my shit airtight, bro. This shit was not going to get leaked.
Right.
So he played you, bro. He played the Scorpion. Like,
I feel the same way, bro.
And I was like, bro, I knew this from the very beginning. He should have just let Joe fight him.
Yeah. Really?
That's it.
Really? So season 2. So season 2 is called Nomad. It's still Megalobox. Megalobox Nomad. It is Spanish as fuck, bro, from the beginning.
Yes.
From the very beginning, and they do bring it back towards the end, but even all the way through, each episode the title is in Spanish.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I thought that was like super.
I feel like
I love the name of the episodes on season 1, and I like how it says "Not Dead Yet."
Right. Yeah. All kind of like that.
Yeah. It's just like, I was like, damn, bro, I kind of like these names. We need to start naming our episodes kind of like that. Like, still living another day.
Yeah. We're fighting to the death on this podcast.
Bro. We're fighting, bro. We try
every day.
Every day, bro.
Every day, Nick.
So there's an episode in the beginning where he wins at the end of the first season, and then he's a nomad. He goes out and he doesn't want to be known or whatever. So he goes to this gas station or whatever, and the guy's like, yo, you kind of look like Gearless Joe, bro. Then he walks away. And then as somebody who I think that I look like Gearless Joe just because of the fucking nappy hair, but then also these scars and everything on my face, I'm like, damn, I can see that, like where I would go out and kind of blend in with the fact that you look like, all these other people.
Right.
Type of deal. So, and then also I wanted to ask you guys, how do you feel about whiskey, soda, and Tabasco? Because the chief, he orders that drink.
Right.
Whiskey, soda, and Tabasco.
Whiskey, soda, and Tabasco.
I've never heard of that, bro.
So it's like,
have you ever had anything like that?
I can't think of what the name of the drink is right now, but I've enjoyed my time with a lot of Mexicans in my life.
Right, pickle juice in the Corona.
I mean, that's not really a Mexican thing, but yeah.
Good.
It's a particular word, and I can't think of what it is right now, but it's like beer and tequila.
Michelada.
Yes. And it has the fucking tahini and
yes. I hate that,
bro. I love that shit. I also like Bloody Marys, so it's kind of the same vein. Yeah.
The tomato juice. Nah, I hate that shit too.
So for me, I feel like that would be kind of lit. You know,
Tabasco, soda, and whiskey.
Yeah, because I don't really like soda like that, but I feel like if we put it together the right way, it might hit. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah, that's
can't knock it till you try it, bro.
Right.
So I haven't tried it yet either. So.
Oh, you brought it for the podcast?
No, right? I know, right?
Are we doing it here
now for everybody else?
Damn, I thought that's why you were running late. You were getting the whiskey, the Tabasco, and the soda, bro.
Right, the store was closed, bro.
All right, well, are we ready?
So there's a scene earlier where, not earlier, like towards the mid, where Sachio tries to kill Joe in his sleep.
Oh my god, yeah,
bro, that shit was so gangster. And then he just boxes the shit out of him. I was like, bro. Wow, it was gangster, bro.
That's not gangster, bro.
He goes to try to kill him, which I think was fucked up. But then when they finally square up, face to face. I'm like, damn.
That's not gangster.
I thought that they were gonna throw these kids away, and then they ended up just all growing up. One is like a chef, and he owns a bar.
Right.
The other one is like, a hardworking girl or whatever, and then the other guy is like a reporter.
Yeah.
So I'm like, that's kind of cool that
That's lit.
that they kept this going forward.
Right.
No.
Because this is what I mean by the drama, bro.
Okay.
Like
Melodrama?
I just
Or-
don't. Nah, bro. Because it's like it's just drama filled across the board, man. It is really like I understand what they're trying to do. I feel like they're trying to throw some telenovela shit in there. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? Like,
Yeah.
because it's just so fucking. This nigga's not only because he's a nomad, but he's a nomad because he's fucking homeless.
Right.
He's got a goddamn drug problem.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then you got the refugees, and then you got the fucking kids that had to figure it out on their own. And then you got this nigga who was a policeman who he came out of nowhere.
Which one?
Mac.
The guy that's paraplegic and
The
he
last
gets,
fight at the end.
yeah, that's the paraplegic guy.
Right. At the end where he came out of nowhere.
Right.
I do agree. Kind of.
So that's what I'm saying, bro. It's all
he
over
recognizes
the
Joe, and I'm like, at first I was
from
like,
where?
yeah. I'm like, is that Chief? Did he fake his
Right.
death?
Like, bro, that's what I thought too. Ever, I was just like, what the fuck is he on some king shit?
Right. So I do agree.
But
To
yeah,
an
bro.
extent, though. But like a telenovela. Like I thought it was gonna go. I thought he was gonna be hanging out with these immigrants the whole show.
Yeah, me too.
Where it's like, oh, we don't have enough money to save the rec center, so we kind of have to win the tournament or whatever, so we can make the money to buy it from the white man to
Exactly.
stay at home or whatever.
Right.
So I'm glad that they kind of like deaded that literally when Chief died.
When Chief died, right?
And then he was able to go back to his home and then take those lessons forward.
Yeah.
So with season 2, my approach to the season 2 was I felt like boxing was secondhand to the actual storytelling. But this is the way I see it, right? Have you guys seen Vinland Saga?
I haven't seen it.
Okay, well, Vinland Saga season 1 and 2 are two different beasts entirely. Season 1 is like flashy, where like the actual fighting and the action is like number 1, then storytelling. Season 2, they switched it around where storytelling, redemption, the fact that Thor and everybody, like they just kind of, it's more of a adult, if that makes more sense. Like it's like less flashy, less fights, but more storytelling, more in depth, more like shit that grown people deal with.
Okay.
Because season 2 was like fucking threw me off when I first watched it because I'm expecting to see more Joe fighting and him being the champ and maybe even like him holding the championship. You know,
like, bro, that ass. I didn't even know it was fucking Joe. I thought it was a completely brand new person before that before they explained that it was fucking Joe. Again.
Yeah,
In Nomad.
in Nomad. Yeah, bro.
Who is this guy?
Because you would think that the
That nigga
story
look like
would
he's
head
30
to him
years
like
old.
defending the
Bro.
title.
It's 5 years. 5 years in the future.
It's 5 years in the future, but how the hell does your life spiral so badly after being a fucking hero
after
superstar?
Nobu
They
dies.
talk about it. They flash back.
Yeah, they talk
Yeah,
about it.
bro,
After
that's
Nobu
it, though.
dies, he kind of like spirals down.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to be like
It's not enough.
the beacon for people because he was the beacon. He was this nobody
Right.
that now came up in the world. So basically showing that, hey, if Joe can do it, anybody can do it. Anybody can come up
Which
in
I
the
feel
world.
like he was kind of like an immigrant Mexican hero. So there's even like a scene where the
The
kid,
chief even said it, that he looked up to Joe.
right? Where
Yeah.
so the kids are like, they're hanging around bad kids or whatever, and I was trying to figure out because anime is always kind of like that, where you don't really know where they're from. Everybody's from like Japan, kind of.
Yeah.
And anybody who's dark, they just are dark Japanese people.
Right.
But where the kids are kicking out all these immigrants and they write in Japanese, like the katakana in Japanese, no immigrants. So then this immigrant lady, a Spanish lady, comes and she's like, I don't understand this. And he's like, oh, you can't read Japanese? The fuck out of here. I'm like, okay, so are they Japanese? So then
No.
so then what's Joe? So then what's like, who is
That's another thing
From-
too.
like South America?
Because I thought they were going to connect
Japan?
it to Joe because he looks like them. You know what
right.
I mean?
So I thought he was kind of, they were like, oh,
Right.
you are Spanish.
You are one of us.
Right. So,
Yeah.
but maybe just by not explaining it, he was just like, vaguely ethnic.
I guess, bro. My main issue is that I appreciate that the story comes before the fighting, because I get that. But why did you convolute the story so much?
I kind of like it,
so
bro.
Unnecessarily.
Because it goes off. It just goes completely sideways, bro. Like it's something you don't expect. But that's why I kind of like it, because I'm expecting more fights out of Joe. I'm expecting Joe to defend the title. I'm expecting Joe to find like a new competitor.
He ended up being like a coach to Chief. I thought he was going to take up the Nambu role.
Yes.
But then he got back into the ring, you know?
I fuck with that, but I just don't like, I guess because I don't like novellas and shit like that, bro. So
I wouldn't say it was a novella,
bro.
I like the whole fact that Joe literally spiraled down to the very bottom again, where he's like you said, he's taking drugs. He's literally like, there was a point where he said, fuck the drugs, do the pills by the bathroom toilet. And he's like, nah, I'm gonna need that shit. I mean, that's just kind of nasty. It's a public restroom and you're just picking up pills from the floor next to the toilet.
Is it one of the very first few episodes?
Yeah. I remember him dropping out. I remember him going back for it.
Oh, he went back for it, bro.
He ate that
you know
shit,
what I mean?
bro.
To the part of him like detoxing, to the part of him like actually accepting whatever happened with him and Nambu and him leaving them, and you know, so on and so forth. Like he's learning to accept, and the Chief is guiding him through it. And I love the Chief's story too, like him being the protector of his village, or the people that migrated with him.
He was also throwing fights just like Joe.
That's what I'm saying. Because remember, they had the fucking first they had that fight, and then they had the fucking squabble by the car. You know what I'm saying?
Because Joe got pissed off. He was like, you didn't give me a fair fight. And he was like, you didn't give me a fair fight. And then when they actually squabbled there at the parking lot, he's like, you're good. He's like, no, you would have done, like, you would have fucking got it. But because you're on drugs, you're delayed.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? But he said, he's like, I'm not a fighter, Joe. Like, I'm not a warrior like you are. I'm just throwing fights because I need the money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But damn, bro.
No, bro, I liked it, bro. It was very dramatic by nature, but I feel like it was kind of as straightforward as it can be without spending too much time in the village. Like they cut that shit in like less than 5 episodes, and then he was back to his story. That was just jumping him off to go back to his story that he left. And then, you know, all those unanswered questions that you had, like, why would you leave? You're like, you were on top of the world. You guys were friends. Like you guys, you know, it wasn't even a manufactured fight. You find out that Joe just wanted Nambu to keep fighting, but Nambu was like, I'm an old man and I don't have any eyes. Let me die. You know, like, and Joe was like, no, like fight it. Like I'm gonna go back into the ring so we can fight it to give you another 6 months, another year, another 2 years or whatever. While Nambu was like, no, just let me fucking die.
And his constant running away was pissing me off too. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
Joe?
There was like a whole thing with that. Bro. That shit pissed me off.
Well, that was a character flaw. At the end where Sachio and all those other kids were like, you know, there's even a joke that they make at the end when they're all like together. And then he's like, oh, don't worry, I'll come back tomorrow. And the little girl's like, you think I care if you come back? You fucking left for 5 years.
Exactly. For 5 years.
I don't care if you
we
come
almost
back.
drowned, actually. Yeah. You didn't even you didn't even fucking care.
Really?
So
I don't know. I do get where you're coming from to an extent. But I feel like I was kind of annoyed that Sachio was so hot-headed. And I'm like, bro, why are you even boxing? Like, you don't need to box. You know,
I mean, I got that though, because he always found a pastime in it, and you know, he was with the gang,
right?
You know what I'm saying? So he was all in that, and then plus, you know, he
was turning up too much, bro. I'm like, bro,
yeah,
chill
but
out.
He was protecting them. He was
instigating.
He was kind of instigating. I'm not gonna lie, but you know,
the reason that we're doing this episode is because of Hispanic Heritage Month. So the National Museum of the American Latino uses the term Latino to describe the diverse residents of the United States with cultural or ancestral ties to Latin America or the Caribbeans. So for many, the term Latino also creates room for acknowledgement between the Black, Indigenous, Asian, and other heritages on equal terms with European ancestry.
Okay.
So the term Hispanic is used to signal a connection to Spain or the Spanish language. So that's the difference between Latino and Hispanic.
Yes.
Latino is more Caribbean.
They're
Black,
not the same
Asian
thing, people.
So they're not the same thing, but they are the same thing.
Yeah.
Well, they're referred to as the same thing, but they're not the same thing, as you just explained. Spanish
Right.
people are of Spain.
Of
Right.
You know what I'm
Spain,
saying? And
Right.
that's like more on the European side,
Right.
whereas Latinos are islands. You know what I
Southern.
mean? Like,
Right.
or
South America.
Right.
Yeah.
exactly.
Asian, black, and then just, those are what the Latino is. But for Hispanic Heritage Month, they still bring in the Latinos with that.
Yeah.
Because it is, the same.
Right.
I
They're
do.
the same, but not the same.
It's not. So I do have some Hispanic boxers for you guys.
Mm-hmm. Oscar de la Hoya. Go ahead.
The first one that I have is Julio Cesar Chavez Sr. He is what they describe as Mexico's #1 fighter
Okay.
with 107 wins and
Jesus.
86 knockouts. And he had a phenomenal 13-year streak going 87-0 from the 80s to 1993.
Wow.
So he's like one of the,
OGs.
Yeah, and that's why I kind of think that Megalobox does lend itself to the Hispanic culture, besides Joe being dark-skinned, Taino or whatever, and the second season being so heavy into... Because they don't really say where these immigrants are from.
No, they never did. They just said like across the water or some shit.
Right.
That.
So not that
But I
can't...
feel like boxing kind of relates more to Hispanics, if that makes sense. Like MMA is more, I don't know, like it's more...
Well, it's more for everybody, whereas like
Boxing
certain
is
kind
like
of-
you
yeah.
feel more pride when it's like a Puerto Rican fighting or when it's a Mexican fighting or something. Like there's more pride to it versus when I hear like an American boxer fighting, like Jake Paul.
It just
Logan
depends.
Paul.
So whenever,
like,
so the way I described it to my son,
not to say that I don't have nothing against like
Americans?
black Africans, such as like Mike
American
Tyson, Muhammad Ali. Those are also great fighters.
okay, so bet. So, and I had recently watched the Ali movie by Will Smith,
Mm.
like in preparation. And I watched a little bit of Creed 3. But the thing about boxing is, and the reason that they do big up where these people are from is because the way I described this to my son was that boxing and fighting is kind of like a last resort to fame and like making money or just surviving.
Right.
So boxing by nature is a struggler's sport.
Right.
It's very single where you just fight, one other person, and you're fighting for the amusement or the entertainment for those around you.
It's an outlet. I think Mike Tyson said it once where he talked about it in a podcast or an interview where he was saying that his son wanted to be a boxer,
But he
and
doesn't
he
have any
told
struggle.
him that you don't have any struggles.
Right.
Like you're not going to be the best. The reason Mike Tyson was the best was because he had a lot of struggles growing up. He was poor.
Right.
This was his only outlet to really be something, to do something, to express himself.
Right.
And I'm assuming that nigga had a lot of anger issues too. But
Also,
this was his outlet to be the best.
So it lends itself to the immigrant struggle where you do have to fight for your right to live in a certain
Exist,
space
yeah.
or exist or feed your family or feed yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I think that this Megalobox kind of does just lean into the Hispanic vibe and culture of what it is to struggle and fight.
I mean, Joe came from nothing, bro.
But taking it back to Ali, he grew up or he came up in a space where it was hard to be black in America. So then you see him, Ali, fight for his right to be the #1 champion in America. And then, if I was Mexican or if I was Honduras or even wherever Pacquiao's from,
Filipino.
Filipino, if I was from there, not that he's not my champion because he's the champion of the world, but I do understand where you get that connection where you see somebody on TV, a fighter who's strong physically and clearly fighting these other people, and he looks like you. He comes from where you come
He
from.
represents you.
He represents you. So
Yeah.
that's where I get where, they have where Joe, he may not have been Hispanic, which I think he is, but that's why
Afro-Latino for sure.
that's why all those immigrants saw him as somebody
a beacon
because they were like, okay, you look like me.
and inspiration. That's why he had a freaking mural on
Right.
the wall
Of where he
Fearless
came from.
Joe. Yeah.
Right. And so does Muhammad Ali when he went back to Africa. They see him, even though he's African American,
Right.
they see him as African because you look like us. You're light skinned, you're tall, I'm short, I'm young, you're older.
Yeah.
I see myself in you. So for these other Hispanic, superstars or whatever, we have Juan Manuel Marquez.
Mm.
So he actually KO'd Manny Pacquiao with a sick counterpunch in 2012.
Mm.
So this is one of the videos that I wanted to put up for you.
Damn, bro.
Slip, slide,
It's all about
hit him in
timing
the
too,
eye.
bro. It's all about timing, man.
It's all about timing, bro. That's another thing with like, so, you know, when we were talking earlier about Joe, how he gets knocked down so many different times, but then he throws just one counter punch.
Sometimes all it takes,
I was gonna
bro.
mention that.
That's all it takes,
I was gonna
bro.
say,
That's
the
all it
sweet
takes.
science, bro.
It's all it
The
takes.
sweet science.
You gotta
bro.
rock that head, bro.
Look at there goes.
Yeah, that's all it takes, bro. One good hit to rock that brain out. And the thing too, I feel like Joe is so used to getting knocked down. That's so like at this point he has a tolerance to getting
built the
punched.
chin. Hell
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's part of it too.
You
is-
know, Mike
is-
Tyson built his neck to withstand punches like that
Right, so that's where like where he's throwing all these fights, he's just used to going down
and getting back up.
and getting back up, or you know, not getting back up, but.
Essentially.
And the last one I have is Canelo Alvarez.
Yeah.
Canelo.
So he's one of the more recent, or one of the more active Hispanic boxers. So he's the first and only undisputed super middleweight champion of the world.
Yes, sir.
So super middleweight is just between middleweight and light heavyweight.
Right.
So we have from the bottom up, you know, excluding a couple of them, we have fly and featherweight. That's between 112 to 126 pounds. Middleweight is up to 165 pounds. Light heavyweight is up to 175 pounds. Heavyweight is up to 201 pounds. And then super heavyweight is over 201 pounds.
Yeah.
So,
And the bantam being, you know, the little at the bottom.
right. So just, you know,
Thanks, Fred.
with Canelo
Everybody,
being
yeah.
like, he's like a lot of the people's champions. Like, you know, our friend Omar, shout out to Omar. He
Yeah.
looks to Canelo because he is like one of the greatest boxers, bar none.
Bar none, yeah.
Bar none.
And
And
he
then-
just happens to be Mexican. You know what I'm
Right. So, and I did try to watch it in Spanish, but they didn't have any subtitles.
Oh.
So I kind of wish they did have subtitles because I would love to
I feel like it
have
makes
watched
sense
it.
for it to have
Right.
subtitles.
They didn't, at least on Crunchyroll.
No.
So on Crunchyroll, they do have it in Spanish.
But just no
They
subtitles.
have-
have
subtitles.
they have a
Wait, you
closed
can't-
caption
you-
option for
Not Spanish.
Are you trying to get Spanish subtitles?
Yeah.
I'm trying. They don't even have Spanish subtitles. They don't have English subtitles.
For Spanish.
If the audio's in Spanish,
Yeah.
because you can change the audio and you can change the subtitles.
But you can't
You
mix and
can't.
match.
No,
Can't-
no.
Could listen
What's
to
that
it in
do?
Japan and like what if you want to listen to it in Japan but read it in Spanish?
No, you can't. No,
What?
I don't think so.
Like, you can't do that on Crunchyroll?
I don't think so. I tried.
What? Nah, bro, that's lame.
I know.
Because I'm thinking as a Spanish speaking, like if I like watching anime and I like hearing it in the native language that it was originally acted,
Right.
but I
You want
have to read
Spanish
it. Yeah.
subtitles at least.
That's how I do it. I don't read Japanese subtitles when I'm watching. You know what I
I'm
mean?
watching that shit in English.
I'm
or
fucking
Spanish.
confused now all the way. I don't understand what they're saying. I don't even know what the words are saying. I read it in English. So
Right.
why can't I do it in Spanish?
That's just what they have, bro.
Crunchyroll lacking, bro.
Take your concerns to Crunchyroll.
No, put it in an envelope and then put it in a box because we're not gonna read
They're
it.
not reading that shit,
They're
bro.
not reading that shit.
At this point, I feel like I'm waiting for Netflix to buy the mountain call it a fucking day, bro.
No,
Don't wish that upon. No, do not wish that upon us, bro.
this is
Yeah.
this is
So-
at
Sony-
the reason I say
least
that
Sony
is
for the
second
win.
time Lewis has
the
said that shit, bro.
reason I say that is because I don't even like mess with Crunchyroll like that. Like I really tried to hop on it. I know it's something that we talked about. We have like subscriptions to it, blah blah blah. But I just don't mess with it, bro. Like if I watch
Crunchyroll,
anime,
bro.
I watch it
On Netflix?
not on Netflix. I watch it
Because you,
somewhere
how about
else.
say because you can't. So
I
where
watch
do
it
you watch
somewhere else at this point, bro.
Then this nigga gotta go on the browser, go to a fucking website that's gonna pop up 3 extra windows before the episode starts.
I don't mind it, bro.
Oh,
It
hell.
reminds me of old school.
mind
That's how
it.
that's how I
hate
used to
that
do it
shit.
back in my days, bro.
Yeah.
When you didn't
Sadly.
have the money, your pops didn't have the money to give you a subscription to Crunchyroll or whatever back in the days. That's the way you watch it, bro.
You sound like a real boomer right now, bro.
I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying.
You sound a real boomer.
And to this day, bro, I'm gonna watch my anime just like that, bro.
All right, well, there
Till
it is.
this day.
So-
While y'all over there scrubbing to look for X-Men anime, bam, I already had the link. I had to spread the word. I'm like, damn, bro, I'll put you guys on.
Bro, I got that shit on DVD. And the
Lewis
behind the
won.
scenes.
The rest of the world,
Yes.
466,377,000.
Nah, man, I just don't mess with Crunchyroll, bro. But whatever. We'll move on. We'll move on.
So the last thing I have about Megalobox is, so I have a couple of inspirations. So this is where the artist who did the anime, this is what he said about it.
Go for it.
So his inspiration for the junk dog was Johnny Depp in the movie Cry Baby.
Okay.
Trying to think
I guess
of
I
it.
can. I guess I can understand that.
Cry
Not
Baby.
exactly the same thing, but I fuck with it. I understand it.
Well, so Johnny Depp is white.
Well, yes. I mean,
But so, you know, how we were talking about, like, Joe might just be white. Like, he can be.
he can be, yeah,
White?
because
No.
there's this thing where, like, so it's like you said before, like if you see a darker like person in in an anime, it could just be like a dark skinned, like a tan Japanese person.
Right.
So that could be the thing. You know what I mean? Like it could just be because if you think about it, and when you watch the show, there's no real like black people in there, or like
Well, so they have a
Latinos.
Spanish person. They in the end of the first season, I think.
Right.
Yes.
They have a guy who speaks Spanish. So I was watching it
Right.
subbed in Japanese, but then they have the white guy who speaks English. He speaks like with a country twang or whatever.
Well, yeah, 'cause-
like Doug Dimmadome or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
'Cause
But then they have a guy who speaks Spanish because
Right.
he's from.
the land over the sea.
The
or
land over
whatever
the sea.
hell, Yeah.
So, you know, that's what made me think that, okay, but so then the rest of these people are Japanese
Right.
from Japan.
Which
So-
means he could be
But why
Japanese.
Crybaby?
from
What got the I'm looking at it and I'm trying to figure out how this.
I think it's more of how he is versus like
yeah,
how-
not
the
necessarily how he
Yeah.
looks, because like you know we talked about earlier, like it is a commemoration of this other manga, Ashita no Joe,
right.
which I didn't get to talk about. They do have a manga spinoff of Megalobox, like in the same world of Megalobox. It is called Megalobox Shikumi no Soken, which translates to the Twin Fists of Fate, which is serialized in Shonen Magazine Edge. And they actually have 2 volumes as of recording. But, you know, that's just...
Is that more recent?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, imagine the fucking anime came out in
the
2018.
second one came. Yeah, because the second one was like the year after, right? I think.
Yeah. So, and then for Yuri, that inspiration was Mads Mikkelsen. He's the bad guy from the Doctor
Totally.
Strange movie,
Totally
from
see
Doctor
it.
Strange 1. And he's Hannibal Lecter from the 2013 Hannibal series.
He's is that the same person?
Mads Mikkelsen?
I'm not sure. No, I don't think it. I was gonna say Skyfall, but I don't think that's the same person.
I think so.
I think it might be actually.
La Chef?
Yes.
Yeah, that's him.
Yes.
So
My
that-
favorite 007 villain for sure.
So that's the inspiration for Yuri. And then Nanbu, his inspiration was Luis Guzman. He's the dad from the Addams Family.
Okay.
In the Wednesday series on
Yes.
Netflix.
Yes. Okay. Yes. Okay. Yeah, I could definitely see that. A little off, but I could see it.
This guy.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Oh yeah.
That's Nanbu, the inspiration.
Well, he is kind of shading a lot of the movies he plays.
That's
Wait,
true too.
He just has that look, you know, like
He looks like a shiesty ass thing.
he's an actor, bro. He leans into
He's a
it.
good actor, bro.
He's a good actor.
He's a good actor. He is.
Man, so anything else about Megalobox?
Nah, man, it's a great freaking anime. I think it's one of those hidden gems because it's not talked about much. Being honest.
Yeah.
So if you guys have not seen it, you guys love boxing, the whole underdog story, definitely watch season 1. And if you like more of the telenovela, kind of like more dramatic, detoxing, going into narcotics and blah, blah, blah.
That's
season
not even
2 might
that-
be for you.
That's
You know
not
what I
even
mean?
that much of it, and like it is very throwaway, and they don't hold on to it too much.
They
Yeah, but
don't,
that's how they
but it's how it
introduce
starts
it,
it.
bro.
Yeah, it's true.
Like he's literally down on the bottom, like he's spiraling and out of control, man. He's
Right.
literally about to like kill himself.
Essentially.
Like he's driving.
That's why
himself
he's a
to
nomad,
suicide.
bro.
He
I
just-
love that whole nomad story about the hummingbirds and all that shit. It's good, bro. It's good. It's good.
So you guys want to move on to the next segment, or you guys have anything else you want to say about Gearless Joe?
I mean, not so much about Gearless Joe. I was just gonna point out that for those of y'all boxing heads that want to play games, Undisputed is coming out. It is the first boxing game in like 10 years. They're giving up UFC. They're finally coming back to boxing. It's coming out in October.
Damn.
And check that shit out.
Nice plug,
I
Fred.
appreciate it.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and like I said, I watched the Ali movie. It's kind of whatever. I realized that that's where Will Smith met Jada Pinkett Smith. That she's in that movie. We saw the credits, and I was like, "Damn, is she in that movie?" She's like one of his first wives.
We're not going to get into that, bro.
I know. And then Creed.
That's another podcast.
Creed 3. Michael B. Jordan said he got a lot of his inspiration from Megalobox.
Did it really?
That's what he said. That's what he
Because
said.
I know he's a big anime fan. He says it like multiple times.
Yeah, so a lot of the scenes.
Michael B. Jordan, if you're listening to this, hit us up, bro. We would love to have you on the podcast.
One day.
We can talk anime all day,
You know
brother.
what I'm saying?
Right.
We're putting it into the universe.
Yes.
Right. So then so that's that there's your anime, video games, and movies.
All right, man. Let's hop into the last segment, bro. Last segment.
What's the last segment, bro?
What you reading? Well, leave it. All right, moving on to the next segment. What you reading? What you watching? What you playing? Let's start with the third brother, Fred.
Fred the Third.
Fred the Third.
Captain
You know the
Kilimanjaro
IRS.
the Third.
Never gonna make no money off this bitch. No, fucking
What's up, bro? What you reading?
Reading, watching, playing. So I have started, since I am one of the few, the only one amongst us, and one of the many who have dove into the world of Black Miss Wukong. I have started reading Journey to the West.
The original?
The original, because Black Miss Wukong is the second part. It is a continuation. It is not a retelling of the story.
Oh.
It is a continuation of the story.
Okay.
So I started reading the actual story. Shit's fucking wild.
Is this a comic book?
No, it's just a very old, like, you know,
Just like a book?
like the Odyssey, some shit like that.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's just an old ass story,
No,
but
that's dope, bro.
it tells the story of Wukong, bro, and
You're
how
really
he came
investing
to be.
into this.
Bro, because that shit's so cool to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's cool as fuck, bro.
Have you seen the movies?
No, and I feel like I don't want to be
No,
honest with you.
I saw it on HBO Max. It popped up for me to watch it, and it looks. I don't like the way they have like the character
Isn't
dressed as a monkey.
Jackie Chan in that movie?
No, I don't.
In the cartoon.
There's multiple
version?
movies,
There's so
right?
many. There's so many.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's
that's what I'm
multiple
saying.
movies.
So remember when we talked about, you know, like what I'd rather read versus what I'd rather watch? This is definitely a read, bro. Because they have not, up until now, they really haven't done this man justice. The closest they've given him to justice is Goku. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But that's not the story of the Journey to the West. You know what I mean?
To the
All right.
It's nice, bro. It's super nice. So that's what I'm reading. What I'm playing is still the same thing. I mean, until October when Sparking Zero comes out, you know what I mean? That's pretty much all I'm going to be playing, you know? It's always, I'm on my new game plus, which I have to go through and beat it again so that I get the secret boss at the end. Well, spoilers, if you didn't know, you should know now. Reading, watching. So what I'm watching, I kind of been on a horror movie kick, to be honest with you, because that's just my thing. But the scary movies these days are not good, bro.
Not good.
They're
It's not hitting.
good, bro.
Look,
They're trash.
I'm gonna say this.
bro.
I'm a big fan of scary movies, man. I
Right.
fucking love scary movies. If
Exactly.
if I could choose a genre, I would watch scary movies all fucking day.
Yes.
But I feel like they don't hit as hard or what they used to because we're adults now.
Yeah, maybe.
Just low key, I remember watching Leatherface, Scream, fucking Jason and Freddy Krueger. Like I remember those, and I remember as a child, bro, I used to be fucking afraid to watch those.
Damn,
movies.
really?
Yeah, like it was a fear.
Oh,
But as an
yeah.
adult now, it just don't hit the same.
But
Even
you
with the
don't
new
see-
scary movies,
You don't
bro.
see the artistic
don't-
value in those movies as an adult more than you would if you were a kid.
only certain movies.
Movies,
Like,
yeah.
for example, I wasn't really afraid of any of those. I like those movies. I wasn't afraid of them. Like, for example, the best example I could give is The Grudge. Like, the original Grudge, not Junun. I couldn't watch the fucking movie, bro. I couldn't watch the movie when it came out. And it came out in, like, 2004?
Right.
Some shit like that. Bro, I couldn't watch it because it was that scary, bro. Like, it scared me that much. And I was like, this is the kind of shit I love, even though I can't even watch it, you know? But even now, when they remade The Grudge, it wasn't as good.
But was it artistic? Because
Not in the way that the first one was.
when we do our Junji Ito episode, none of those
looking forward
things
to that too.
are scary to me where I'm like, I can't watch it or it's creeping me out. But
Some
it is
of
very
those-
artistic.
It
where
is.
if you lean into it, then you do get scared. But not because it's scaring me like in my boots, you know?
No, that's what I watch
No.
scary movies for,
But
bro.
that's what you watch scary movies for. Like I think Insidious is closest
yeah.
movie that I actually felt a little bit scared because I like the tone, the music, the
Yeah,
whole
bro.
devil or whatever demon behind it.
They dropped the ball on that so serious.
And
It
I
could've
love
been
the
so
storytelling,
good,
like the
bro.
whole,
Yeah.
leaving your body and then being trapped into this different. I kind of like the aspect of that.
Yeah.
That is where I'm like, okay, I like the same thing with The Conjuring. I like Conjuring 1
Yeah.
because it was kind of deeper, more scarier, more,
Right.
you know what it had a good feel to it.
Right.
After that, it kind of lost its touch.
Have you ever seen Sinister?
I have
Yeah,
seen
Sinister was a good one too.
That's a good one.
You know what I'm saying?
How
that's top
can
tier,
one
bro.
man be so sinister?
I'm telling you. Then Sinister 2 came out, and I was like,
It wasn't as good, bro. That's what I'm saying, man.
they kind of lost their touch, man.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
Now I feel like as an adult, I'm more into like that psychological terror. Have you ever seen Herencia?
Hereditary?
Hereditary.
Yes.
Yeah,
Bro,
that shit was really good.
trippy.
That movie's good though.
That shit was really, really good.
But that movie's good because of the acting. As well. Like when
Yeah.
that mom freaks out on her family at the fucking dinner table. Oh,
well, that too.
I wanted to throw flowers
the shift
in the movie theater. I was like, that was good. That was really
It's
good.
better than Midsummer. I mean, that shit was trash.
I hate that movie.
Big garbage, that fucking movie,
I
man.
hate that movie, bro.
Yeah, say whatever you want. Fucking sucks.
I went through that whole movie like thinking it was going to be
thinking
good.
it was going to get good, and it just never got good.
That movie was too full of itself. That movie thought it was beautiful.
All right. How about you, bro? What you reading? What you watching? What you playing?
Yeah. Reading, watching, and playing, bro. I'm reading that manga Kagubarchi. It's actually getting kind of good, bro.
Nice. Okay.
I was seeing that people were thinking that it was just going to be like this generic ass, manga because it's a samurai guy, and samurais have always been kind of like generic, like I like Demon Slayer, and without it being beautiful as Demon Slayer, like Demon Slayer does have like a very basic story, but then the thematics is what sells it.
Yes.
So for this one, at least manga wise, he is like, I don't want to say an edgelord, but he comes off as this guy who's just like, too good for everything. And
Is he Sasuke, bro, or is
he looks like Sasuke, but then when you actually read it and the character that he is,
he's Naruto.
he's a good combination of Naruto and Sasuke, where he puts on this facade that he's too good for everything, but he does feel everything, and he's working out with his dad, and he's trying to take over his dad's, not take over, but like pick up his dad's slack, because his dad has like this secret technique of making swords. So I don't know, it's starting off pretty good, and the art is just so amazing. Like that's the part of it that I really, really like is the art, like the scene transitions, just like how they use something very simple like slicing and dicing, where it just like sells it super, super well. So that is what I've been reading. And it's one of I think I'm going to take off like I did with Chainsaw Man, where I just fucking blew through it and caught all the way up. And it's still quote unquote early. Like, I said in the beginning, it's only been out for a year. It only has like less than 50 issues. So I can definitely like get caught up with that. Like
breeze through that shit, really.
Real easy.
Yeah.
So that's what I've been reading. And then playing, me and my girl have been playing Super Mario Bros. On the Switch.
The Wonder?
No, she has Wonder, but she has the one from the Wii U, but she has it on the Switch. So we've been kind of going through that. We already beat Overcooked, so that's why we're not doing that. We did that a while ago.
Beat it?
We beat it.
Oh, okay.
We
just started, man.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice. It's super nice.
Yeah.
So we're playing that and then watching.
But they have a bunch of bundles for the Overcooked. Like they have like a campfire one. They have like a.
Yeah, we haven't done any of the bundles.
Okay. Like the DLCs.
Yeah, no, we haven't done any of those yet. So we might get back to it, but then we're trying to just get through what we have.
Let me
now.
know, bro. Me and my girl, we're gonna overcook you, bro.
You think so, bro? 2v2?
2v2? That'd be pretty dope.
Oh, fuck.
What have you been playing?
And then playing.
didn't ask what you and your girl was playing, bro. What have you been playing?
He hasn't been
bro?
playing.
I haven't been playing anything, bro.
I know.
I put down God of War.
Of course you did, bro.
I don't know, man. I'm kind of not feeling Valhalla, bro.
I mean, you beat the original story, bro, so I ain't gonna hold it against you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I give you the pass to join the Wukong family.
Oh, do you?
Yes, bro.
I was only beating Valhalla for you, bro. Not necessarily for you, but because I made a promise to you, bro.
You didn't earn this shit, bro.
I don't know, man.
Hearing the whispers. No, fuck, what was that? Overcooked, though.
A combination of I haven't had the time, like I never do, but also I haven't been making the time because, bro, if I fucking do 2 hours into that game and I don't feel satisfied, I'm gonna feel like shit, bro.
I'm just mad for the rest of the day.
And then watching, we put down Sopranos, bro. We're not gonna finish it, bro. It was good in the very first episode, then it kind of dragged, and then it got good again, and now it's back to dragging. So I can't see it being worth it in the end either.
The ending would definitely piss you off then, to be honest.
also, so we might start Wednesday because we did see the Beetlejuice movie.
Oh, you saw it?
We did.
I saw it too.
So
you saw it, Fred?
I haven't seen it yet. I gotta watch it.
Yeah. So without spoiling it, that movie is actually pretty good. It's really good. It's good, bro. It's good. It's good.
All right, so obviously I'm gonna have to watch it to mediate these two motherfuckers again.
I told X, I don't know. Are we doing a review on that?
No,
not on Beetlejuice.
No, we don't have the time.
We don't have the time.
We're pretty packed, bro.
We'll talk about it on the filler. We'll add that to a conversation to the filler.
Well, we can even talk about it now because
no.
What are you watching? Our friend Darian, she fucking loves Beetlejuice 1.
Yes. I'm with Darian there.
Nostalgia, and I like Beetlejuice 1, and I even showed my girl Beetlejuice 1 for the first time.
What?
I had a whole, and we kind of did a thing about it.
Thing.
So I did,
which I'm still working on.
I had a whole spit take about like that damn movie where I'm watching it, and I'm just drinking my drink, and then it was my girl who made me laugh, but it was a combination of that in the movie where she's like, "Wow, this scene's going on pretty long," and then they start like dancing, and shaking their butts, and I just fucking spit all my drink out. That movie is like really, really good. The first one. The second one, the only problems I have with it, and this is spoilers for it. I'll try to keep it spoiler free, but they introduce a character, the female character, and they kind of just throw her away at the end. They don't resolve her story, and I'm like, why did you even bring her in the story? And she was good, like she was bad, like
she was a baddie.
She was a baddie, and I felt like she was a threat because she had all these powers that she was able to like.
But it wasn't. Her powers wasn't utilized. Her story kind of gave Beetlejuice a backstory by adding her backstory.
Right.
But then, like at the end, she was just a throwaway character.
So my homegirl, who I saw the movie with, she was like, shout out to Chelsea. She was like, oh, they could have just took her out the movie.
They could have, and it wouldn't change the story at all.
But instead of taking her out, just use her properly.
But they didn't.
Yeah.
But they didn't. So
same thing with
that was my only issue with the movie.
There's another character too that I felt was a throwaway character.
Which one?
The guy that Jenna Ortega falls in love with.
Oh, he was integral.
I feel like they could have added more to his story, bro.
He was a bad guy, bro. I'm watching that movie and like I said, spoilers.
This is why I like the first one.
This is actually a spoiler. So I was just like, fuck that guy, bro. Fuck that guy.
Well, I knew he was gonna basically.
I knew he was a piece of shit, bro.
Oh my god!
But
I'm thinking of a particular
I'm just,
person right now. Out of some kind of Disney.
This is why the first one was better. I felt like it just had a better story. Even the song that they used to do the dancing bit, like they did on the first one, I didn't even like the song, bro.
It's the same song
because it's reverbed or whatever. Because it's chopped.
Towards the end, when Beetlejuice made everybody sing in their wedding, something about the cake falling and getting wet, and
that song.
I would never remember the recipe.
Song. Yeah, I like that song.
You like that song? I didn't like it. I couldn't get jiggy with it.
It went on a little bit too long, and then it didn't pay off for as long as it went on. In the end, I agree. All right, I'll say.
I like the other one, bro. It's more catchy.
But they bring that song in the funeral or whatever.
Yeah, that was.
Was it better than the first one? No. Was it as good as the first one? No. Was it good and a good continuation in the world of Beetlejuice? Yes.
My question is, why did Beetlejuice have to age? That didn't click to me. Yes, he did.
Not really.
Yes, he did. I know the main character. Yeah, the main character that plays him, he aged.
Right.
But Beetlejuice in all entirety, he is dead. Why is he aging?
He did not age though.
He did age.
How
did
he age?
You can see he looks older
because the human man is older.
Yeah, I know that the human person that's playing it. I know he's older.
Did they ever allude to him being older?
But to me, it's just like he's a demon. Demons, he's in the afterlife. He doesn't age.
But they didn't say I'm getting old, I'm aging. He was still with all the makeup.
Still look old.
To you.
I'm just saying. I was like, why does he look old?
Because he's older. Because that movie came out 30 years ago.
At least some CGI
more than 30 years ago.
A little bit younger.
Right.
Yeah, it's 88.
So what, 34 years ago?
Yeah,
bro.
Hey, that was my only complaint, bro. I can't complain in this podcast. Let me know.
Not justifiably.
I need valid criticism, bro.
Nah, that was the story wasn't that great. In all honesty, I didn't like the song that they chose to do the whole dancing bit because I feel like that's becoming a part of the Beetlejuice thing.
Right.
Is that little dancing bit. Yeah. I didn't like the song that they used.
I liked it, but it just went on way too long, bro.
So and then like you said, the throwaway characters, especially the female one, was stupid.
Bro, they could have fucking made her like I didn't expect like a superhero fight at the end between those two, but
something.
I don't know what, yeah.
Really. Like they hyped her up from the very beginning.
No, they did it nice. And they used the CGI, not CGI, claymation.
Yeah.
They fucking did that shit nice.
Really?
And then there's even
now.
Willem Dafoe is in that movie, and he has a scene where he talks about you got to make it real, and he leans to the side so you can see like the makeup on his face. And I'm like, the movie was kind of meta. The movie was kind of meta because there's some people that are not in the movie because they are either sex offenders or whatever, or like Alec Baldwin, he was in the first one, but he had that
the whole Rust situation,
right? So he's not in the movie. So they're like, oh, he's not in the movie, and he's like, nope. And he's like, oh, well, that's convenient. Yeah. So it's nice. Okay. It's nice, bro. I liked it. As someone who doesn't have so much stake in the Beetlejuice franchise,
I have too much stake in it. I love the Beetlejuice one. I was so happy that they're finally coming out with a second Beetlejuice after all these years.
I mean, they gotta do 3 Beetlejuices, bro.
The way they ended it was kind of like they could do another one, but they didn't really say like this is what the next one's gonna be. They were just like, yep, I'm still around.
Yeah,
it's implied, bro. I mean, hopefully it doesn't take another 30 years. But I mean,
I doubt it. I doubt it. So what you been playing? What you been reading, bro?
Reading? Still nothing, bro.
Reading?
I haven't picked up a book. Being honest, I have not picked up a book.
Read a book. Read a motherfucking book.
Not a sports page. Not a magazine.
Right.
Bro.
Some kind of story, bro.
No, you don't have to, bro. This is just part.
But
read Journey to the West, man.
Playing. I've been picking up games at the Switch, so I've been playing with my girl.
Overcooked.
Sorry, Fred.
No.
Overcooked.
Play video games with your girl, bro.
Overcooked.
I mean, maybe if you want to play, whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Mario Kart, and the last game we want to pick up is It Takes Two. And Cuphead.
Bro.
Cuphead.
I'm trying to get better at it, bro.
Gonna cost some domestic.
I know. You playing that with your girl, or you playing it solo?
I'm playing solo actually.
Okay,
I'm trying to get a little good at it.
So, is your girl good at video games? I know. Overcooked.
Overcooked is kind of like a little fun. That could be like a game on the phone kind of game.
Kind of.
Kind of fun,
All my chef people that know what Overcooked is are raging at the fact that you're saying that this shit is fun. By the way,
it's what?
That it's fun.
It's fun, bro. I like it.
Yeah, it's fun. It is fun.
I like it. I mean, it's stressful. There's points where it is stressful. Like I'm screaming. Like, what the fuck is the nori at? I kind of finished the sushi sheet.
Behind.
Yeah, I'm like behind. I got a hot pot of rice. I gotta put it down. Like it's fun, man. It's fun. And then watching, I finished Game of Thrones.
Wow.
All the way through?
All the way through. So
fly story.
I'm trying not to make this episode too long, man. So I'm gonna leave that to the fillers too. It's gonna be a filler conversation because I have a lot to say.
Oh man,
a lot to say, and that's gonna take another 30 minutes, and we don't have that time right now.
That sounds like a continuation, man.
Yeah. So watch for the next filler. Kid Lewis definitely got a lot of shit to say on this one. But back to the scary movies. There's a scary movie that came out on Netflix called The Deliverance.
Right.
Have you guys seen it?
I haven't seen it.
I don't know anything about it.
It's black people and
black people, yeah, and exorcism.
Really?
But like ghetto.
Oh my god, is that the fucking picture that I have been seeing?
The old lady that says, "I can smell your nappy pussy."
Yeah,
yep, that's it, bro. That's the movie.
Yep.
I finally saw it last night. You gotta watch it, bro.
I heard
it's worth watching.
Good. No, it's good. It's good because I like the concept of when we see like exorcism is always related to white people, right?
Generally, yeah.
Generally, all of them is always related. So this is like the first time it's related to black people, but not just any black people, like poverty black people. These are. I'm trying not to phrase it that way, but they're ghetto, bro.
If that's what it is,
like it is what it is. Like the mom is like she has like DCF problems. Like she's trying to protect her kids, but the whole like movie is like against her. The whole demon is trying to like put everything against her, and it's so fucking good, bro.
It does sound like an
so
interesting
fucking
concept.
good.
You
Yeah,
never
it
really
is.
get that. So
Yeah.
And it's psychological too. Like I said, bro, I love movies that's kind of psychological, and that plays into it because who's gonna believe a black family being tormented by demons?
To be honest,
Like actually come out and say like, I need your help. There's a little spoiler. She goes to, because they go to church. She goes to the church and actually says like, hey, I think I'm being tormented by demons. Would you guys be able to help me with that? And they literally looked at her and was like, we don't deal with that. Like we don't do that.
You
here.
got to keep that shit outside.
Yeah, like that. You got to go to.
Actually,
She
don't
said
come
you
back.
got to go to
Right.
another church for that. A white people church that deals with that because they don't. They, they deal with the positive, with the hallelujah, with the
Right.
singing, and that's the church that she goes to. So when she actually brings up like, I think my family
Real-
being possessed
real
by
life
demons,
problems.
like they're like, maybe you need to go see a psychologist or a psychiatrist or like because we don't deal with that portion of
That's true, bro.
spirituality.
I mean, in all regards, you know what I'm saying? Black people don't believe in, obviously now the age is new and whatnot, but they don't fuck with like therapists and therapy and things of that nature.
Right.
It's a thing, bro.
Or even
and if
being
you
possessed.
know.
Like, and usually people, when supposedly with black people comes close to anything like that, they're like, deuces, we're out of here.
Yeah,
we don't
like
fuck with that. We don't deal with that. We don't care about it. We're looking the other way. We're out. But the movie is really good. Definitely worth a watch, man.
I'm definitely gonna have to watch that shit for sure.
Definitely worth the watch.
That's what it
And that's I'm starting up on Lord of the Rings.
Oh, the
Because
new one
it's
on
on-
Amazon?
On Amazon. Is it Amazon? Yeah, it's on Amazon. So I want to go back to watching the first 3 movies.
Oh,
fuck, bro, I forgot how
are
long they were.
as hell, boy.
I totally forgot how long
I don't
they
know
were,
if I could
bro.
ever watch those movies again.
Because I want to kind of
They're
like
long as the
get
day
into it
is
again.
wide,
Like, God
bro.
damn, bro. I fell asleep like an hour in. I was like, God, and I still got 2 more hours to go,
Because
bro.
remember, them shits are from like, back in the day as
Yes.
well. So
Those are
they
like the original
drag
Avatar.
on. Yeah, bro.
Well, so they are coming out with an anime movie at the end of the year in December that we are going to be on top of. But I do think we should watch
For Lord of the Rings?
Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
An anime.
An anime,
Really?
yeah.
Anime movie.
That's interesting.
It looks good.
I mean, I don't know if it looks good, but
I know. To me, it looks good, bro.
we'll do an episode on it.
But I'm definitely watching the
I can
original
compare
3
it to
Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
My precious.
Precious. Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm definitely watching it
I'm gonna
It might
compare
take
to
me a
Shadow
while.
of War for sure.
because it is
Oh,
fucking
it's gonna
long.
be a little bit like that, yeah.
Really? Don't tell me that. I get excited.
But
We'll check it out. We'll do an episode on it.
that's pretty much it. That's all I'm watching, man. Hope I'm doing you guys proud. Getting back into the roots.
That's I mean, you gotta speak with him about this one. I mean,
I guess getting back into the roots of like the whole kind of like fantasy world
'Cause he's
kind of
like,
thing.
What the fuck are you talking about, bro?
Don't care. You're watching Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings, bro. You don't like Lord of the Rings?
No.
Oh, I forgot. You're not into magic,
I
and
don't.
wizards, and dragons,
Yeah, I'm about to say that's I
and
fuck with him
orcs,
more.
and elves. That's funny
That's
because you
boring.
like fucking
Mashal.
not Mashal, well, the game House of Dragons, the board game
Dungeons and Dragons.
Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh, I do. I like the role playing part of it more than anything, the storytelling, and I do like it as set dressing, but I don't really like wow, an orc, wow, goblins.
I would tell you to play BG3, but you'll never finish that fucking game, bro. So there's
I won't.
no point.
All right, man. All right, it's time to wrap it up, bro. It's time to wrap it up. We can talk all day and all night.
Too
So
nice.
thank you, normies, for tuning in to your favorite anime podcast, the Hyperbole Podcast. Don't forget that name. Have it engraved in your brain.
Get a tattoo. Put it on
For
your
real.
forehead.
I'll send that shit, bro. That'd
Send
be
it
dope. Give a huge thanks to our third Fred. He's becoming another norm, part of the group. You're going to see him more often. So definitely, if you guys enjoyed his input, let it be known. Put it in the comments. He's definitely going to be more present.
Tune in, tap in. You know what I'm saying?
If you're listening to this podcast on Spotify, don't forget to subscribe and give it 5 stars. And if you're listening to it on Apple Podcasts, also give it 5 stars, but leave a complimentary sandwich and we'll read it out every other episode. And if you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to hit the notify button so you are notified when hot fire is being dropped.
Hit that noti bell, duh. Don't let them blacklist us. You know what I'm saying? Because you might think it's there, but you won't know. You know what I'm saying? Hit that noti bell. Make
Noti
sure.
There you go. And like we say at the end of every episode,
Tune in next time for scenes from the next episode of the Hyperbolic Podcast.
and we out.
See.